Yeah.
So we'll do you want to?
Open again.
Yeah, we'll start right from the very beginning. Okay. Let me just check what we have here. What's happened? This one's got lock.
Yeah. This one's okay right now.
Yeah, that's this. Okay, so we're going to use. Who's going to operate the PC? So you just opened up the software, yes? Okay, so and then to connect from the software to the instrument, Control N.
Control N.
Control N is the shortcut. Or should be.
Okay, and then come.
And that should then find any instrument, any M9 that is within. So if both of them are turned on, no, that's an old PCM. It won't find that one.
Okay.
Okay.
So only can find this one.
It'll only find this one. So it should have the serial number of that. Should be now in that window. Yeah. You just have to highlight it and click connect. If you just click connect, it will auto detect. And on auto detect, it will go through the PC. It will say, it will look for all the virtual COM ports, every COM port, trying to find where the connection is. Like, sometimes that can take a long time, okay? Especially if you've got lots of virtual COM ports. At the bottom of that window was also, you can select a COM port. So if you know what your COM port that is in, okay, you can select that and just say connect. But I see that one just connected very quickly, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay. So now, because it's connected,
The radio.
Okay, this had gone solid green.
Yes.
Okay. It's flashing now because actually it's gone into sleep mode because we've not done anything. Okay, and it's just trying to preserve a bit of battery. Okay, but the moment when you first connected, this light went solid green. Okay. On the PC now, it automatically comes up with the smart page. Okay. If you work your way from the top to the bottom, answering every question, you pretty much will have set up the instrument as it needs to be set up. There are things that we don't need to do, but if you're not sure, work your way top to bottom, okay, and you'll set it up correctly. So at the top, I can't remember everything, but it's at the top. Probably the time, is it? Or no, units. Does it say units? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we have the choice: English units or metric units.
Yes, I.
Yeah. So we're in metric. Okay. The instrument, the first time you do that, it will remember that, and you won't have to change that again. Then we have time. Yes. Okay. So as I said yesterday, it's really important. Many people just forget this, but the time that the instrument records the data as, that you then want to, in 10 years' time, process this data or add it onto something, all the data is whatever comes out of here. Set that time, set it correctly. Okay? So if we click on there, it'll give us the option of we can match it to the PC or we can manually set the time.
Match to the PC.
Well, it's great it's easy as long as the time on the PC is correct. Okay. So the easiest way is to change the time on the PC. Make sure that that's right. Okay. So that's done that. Yep. Okay. The next one down is system test. Yes. Okay. So I never do a system test. It's not a requirement in the UK. Very soon we'll find out whether the instrument's working or not. And the system test actually doesn't always tell you whether the instrument's working or not. It just tells you that certain components are. In the US, it's a requirement of the user to do a system test with everyone. It saves that data file with your data set, okay, saying that the system test has been done. Okay. We will do a system test now, just to There is sorry, just while it's doing that, there is software available for a Windows tablet. Okay.
Yeah, you told yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. That Windows tablet, it's I won't say it's exactly the same software, but the whole thing, they've made some of the buttons bigger. Okay, so that when you're using the touchscreen, it's easier. Okay.
Like smartphone.
But it's still, in my opinion, it's still not ideal, but it's better. Okay. So the test has passed, yes?
Yes.
Good. Not a lot we can do if it fails, apart from redo it. Now we have the site information, site details. On this one, when we click on that, new window will come up. This will make no difference to the measurement. Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't affect the measurement
Just
at
give
all.
information.
It's just for information. Again, that information in 5 years' time, that will become important.
Okay.
You know, when you can't remember what was done.
Yeah,
Okay, who done? You know, who done the measurement? Oh, Lee done it. Forget that one. It's no good. You know, he never done anything right. Which boat were you using? You know, you might see that the data just looks a little bit strange. You know, and you sort of say, oh, well, they were using the trimaran, and in those conditions, you know, it tended to bounce on, you know, on the water, and that could have been that. It's just little bits of information that help you. Okay, site name, site number is on there. Yeah, who's done the measurement? At the bottom, there's a comments thing as well. So you know, you could just put in, you know, dry weather just before the. You know, pouring with rain, you know, whatever, just something that helps you sort of when you're processing the data in the future.
It's irrigation channel of Daja River.
Yeah, anything that just helps. Anything you put on there will be recorded on the data file. Okay. If something changes in the middle of the measurement, and you want to change those comments, you have to do F8 on the PC to stop the instrument from being in data collect mode, and then we can go back to the smart page and we can change those comments. Okay.
And after that,
everything else will remain. Okay, it's just what we're changing.
F8.
F8. Okay, F8 to abort. Okay. Next one. Is that system settings? So we have things like GPS, bottom, heading source. Okay. So click on.
你可以拿进来
What are the choices?
拿过来啊，因为那个现在没有下雨。
No, it's good for you to do it. It's good for you to. It is. You remember better if you're doing it rather than me. Okay, so you see there's a drop down. So,
Sorry.
okay, so we have. It's saying what's the heading source. You could have an external GPS compass on here. Okay, that's a different one. It's the V102 typically.
Yeah.
Or the compass from inside the instrument. Okay, we don't have a GPS compass, so we're just going to use the internal compass.
Internal.
Okay, the SonTek compass. That's the heading source.
SonTek compass.
Yeah. Okay, is GPS connected? Yes or no? If we click it to no, it doesn't go looking for the GPS data. Okay. So, you know, although this is GPS enabled, you might say I don't want GPS. And rather than in the data when you're post-processing it, seeing that the GPS data look bad, it just grays it all out, and you just sort of say, okay, GPS just wasn't used. Okay. And measurement method. Okay, so here we have moving boat.
Yes.
We have SMBA and moving boat, yeah, and loop method. Okay.
Yeah. Loop method.
Okay, so if we believe we have a possibility of a moving bed, okay, you would select it here, which method we want to do to detect for the moving bed, and then later on, when we selected that, it will ask you to do the test for the moving. If you just set moving boat method, it will not ask you to do that moving bed test. Okay, so that's the thing that we've got to decide. Are we going to do one? Yes, I think we will. Okay. There's two methods. The loop method. With the loop method, let's pretend this is my boat, and this is with the start point. With the loop method, we start at a point, and we very accurately know where that start point is, and we go out, and without stopping we come back, and we come back to exactly the same point. If you don't come back to exactly the same point, it will sort of say, oh well, maybe there was a moving bed. Okay, so we go out and we come back. When we finish that, the software will then do an analysis of the track that it's taken and to get back and try and say whether there is a moving bed. For that, the compass has to have been accurately calibrated to actually use the loop method. Okay. There are reasons why it will fail. You know, vegetation on the channel. They can't detect a moving bed if there's vegetation and that. USGS really like the loop method. The loop method was developed by them, and they gave it to us to install onto the software. Okay, it's good when it works. It's really good. Okay? It's also prone to some difficulties, but it knows those difficulties, and it will just if it doesn't think it can detect it, it will say so. It will say failed. The other one is, in my opinion, much more safe as a moving bed test, but there are other problems with that. So with the SMBA, the stationary moving bed analysis, we put the instrument in position and then we leave it to collect data for, I don't know, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay? By default, the software, I think it says 5 minutes.
Okay.
And you just leave it there in exactly the same place, and it detects whether the bed is actually moving along the bottom. On the screen, it will look like the boat is moving up the stream if there is a moving bed.
So
Okay?
two methods.
Two methods. The problem, so that's a much more robust way of truly checking whether there's a moving bed. But the problem is, it's only checking if there is a moving bed there. The moving bed might be here.
1 point.
Okay, yeah.
But loop method can check the whole section.
Whole section.
Okay.
With the moving bed test, though, you can do a number of different points. It does ask you, it recommend by default it says 3 points across the channel. Okay. You can do more. You can do less. Okay. Most people do the moving bed test where at the point where there's the highest velocity.
Okay.
Because that's the chance of it moving. The problem with that is that where there's the highest velocity, it's quite likely that it's scoured all of the loose material away, and it's actually quite solid there. Where I would recommend you do one is actually just to the side of that. Not so much near the edge, but just to the side of the fastest velocity. The sediments start to fall out then onto the channel bottom. Okay. And I would do it there. So maybe. I've got a nice data file where it shows the moving bed, and it's actually about a quarter of the way across the channel. Okay, and for the remainder of the channel, there's no moving bed. So just be aware of that. And what had happened in that file is during the summer months, this here was almost static water, and then all the sediments came out. And then in the winter, when the rainfall came, it wasn't moving very fast here, but it was enough just to move it along and make the data incorrect. However, if we've got good GPS, okay, we don't need the moving beds software. Okay, the GPS here, we've got a solid green GPS. That has got a good lock on the GPS, and it's received RTK correction. Okay, if it was flashing, it would have good solid lock on GPS, but it would only have differential correction. I'm not sure. We'll come back to that. I think it's because it's
The radio's
radio's flash. Temp differential.
Ah.
Okay. So on the utilities tab on here, this instrument was set up as differential, so it was never looking to this for a. Okay.
No, no, it wasn't looking.
No, they only fit on. They only fitted on one way round.
Just make sure we got it.
Because the GPS,
This is antenna.
That's the radio antenna, yeah.
right?
And that's
I think it's two cables the same, right?
no, there's nothing different.
Uh,
They only fit in one.
GPS,
So that's-
this is antenna.
That's radio antenna. This is
This is GPS.
That's GPS.
Yeah, GPS is on this side.
GPS on the side.
It says it on the bot on the.
No.
T.
I can see.
没有，它应该只有1公1母，它不会弄错了。
没错。
刚刚我装的时候有看到。
GPS 都不亮。
Okay, there's another. Sorry, first time. Okay, you see here. There's a sticker. This is brand new. It's not
它
paired.
会磕啊，它有磕。
Ah. You have to pair the boxes.
For the very first time. Okay, so we have what we have is a problem for this side, this PCM to see this PCM. It's not been paired. You have to use the utility software to
Pair
it.
the boxes.
Okay, so close that down. If we just close River Surveyor down. If we do not turn off the instrument, all the settings we've put in there, it will remember them.
Okay.
Okay. If we take the power off, it loses all the settings.
So we
So you have a program there called Utilities.
没有装 utility。
哦没有装哎，
你爱手感吗？
没有
你是接外接？
外接的，哇，那你没有？
你有按手感吗？要按手感。还是外接？
Do